Namaste Bitch, how are you? I wanna know. Lots of people ask me all the time. I really forgot. I'm getting crazy, really. Ah yes, I remember, I don't need to see. What did you left behind to become an Australian? Namaste Bitch. This is such a difficult question because, as you know, or maybe you don't know, but I am a Brazilian and I'm Australian now because I have the citizenship. So, I've been living in Australia for 7 years and to be honest, I love this experience. I feel so great about Australia. I feel part of this country because I love Australia. It doesn't matter if you don't like, I love Australia, okay? This is the only thing that matters and I say all the time and I feel proud. I'm Australian, mate. But to become an Australian, I had to leave a few things behind. Part of my history, part of my culture, part of my friendship, family and all these things. And to be honest with you, this is not an easy process. No. Why? Because when you are living in a country and you decide to live in another place, there's a lot of excitement behind. This is something like, wow, look at this, I will have this experience to live in another place, knowing another people, cultures, language, histories and lots of things. And I was so excited when I have decided to live in Australia. You have no idea. And while I was in the middle of this process, it was pretty hard, pretty difficult, because you need to prove lots of things until you what? I don't know the word. Until you apply to come to Australia. In the first time that I came to Australia, I came here as a student, so I had no idea that I was going to love this place. I don't know why, to be honest, I have decided to come to Australia. One day I was in a cinema, I was watching one film and I couldn't understand absolutely nothing. And I had the horrible idea that my English was awesome. But being honest, it wasn't. But I could understand lots of things. So when I left the cinema, I just said, I'm leaving this country, I'm leaving Brazil, and I want to live another experience in another language because I need to improve my English. And I'm coming to Australia. And people were asking me all the time, but why Australia? Why do you have interest in Australia? Tell me something. I say, I don't know, I just want to go to Australia. And people, why not Canada? Why not USA? Why not England? I say, I don't know, I'm going to Australia. And I began to do everything to come to Australia. So I came here as a student and in my first day I was completely in love for this country. I was completely in love for Australia. I don't know how to explain this to you. Do you know when you have this feeling that, oh my god, I wasn't born in this country, but I belong to this country? It was my feeling. This experience was amazing. So I was living as a student here in Australia for 2 years and I had the possibility to apply to have my permanent resident visa. And I say, why not? Let's begin all this process. Let's become an Australian Emerson. It was a long process, quite expensive, but to be honest, it was very worth it. And what happened? After a while, I had my permanent resident visa. So that time, I had sure that Australia was my place. And I come back to Brazil to visit my family. And you know why? It's funny because I had the feeling that I was Brazilian, but I wasn't Brazilian. And I was so grateful to be there because I love Brazil, of course I love. But I always had this feeling that something was missing because I was missing my country. I was missing Australia. And when I come back to Australia, I say, okay, now it's time to become the process to become an Australian. So after a while, I become an Australian and now I am an Australian, mate. And it's funny because living here, I have the feeling that something is missing because it doesn't matter what happened, even I am an Australian and even I have this feeling that this country embraced me. Even I have this feeling that everybody loves me and accepts me like an Australian. I still have the feeling that something is missing because I am Brazilian. All my history, everything that I learned came from Brazil, so this is normal. And when I am in Brazil, I have the feeling that something's missing because I miss Australia, because I am Australian. So it's difficult when you change your way to see the life. It's difficult when you have a new citizenship because you know that you have the best of both sides, but in the same way you have to lose things, you have to leave behind things that you like. This is hard, but in the same way, living here, I've made a new family. I've made new friends, amazing Australian friends, and not only Australian friends, because here in Australia you can meet people from all around the world, and this is amazing because I know everybody from everywhere. So in the same time I left lots of things behind, but I conquered. Is it correct to say this? Conquered? I've made new friends, I've made a new life. So it's impossible you have everything that you want. Life sometimes you have to choose. You cannot have everything. At this time for me it's amazing living in Australia. I'm so proud, I'm so happy. And what makes me feel more happier is that all my Australian friends, they make me feel Australian. They always treat me like an Australian. That's the reason I love this country that I feel safe, I feel thankful. And of course, it's not easy, but I cannot have everything that I want. But everything that I have, I'm very, very thankful. Becoming an Australian is not an easy process. It's not easy, that in the end, everything that you left behind even hurts you sometimes, makes you feel proud because you know that you are living in one of the best countries in the world. So I don't know if you could understand me. What I want to tell you is that living in Australia is one of the most amazing experiences that I have ever lived in my whole life. This is a dream that came true to my life, and it doesn't matter what happened, until the end of my life I'll be an Australian and Brazilian as well. So I couldn't be prouder. That's it. I don't know if I can be very specific with you, but you know, English is not my first language, so sometimes I cannot be so precise, but that's the way that I can talk to you. Sorry. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Hope you like this video, and I see you next time. Namaste Bitch. Bye.